2020 is going to go down in the history books as one of those years we remember. It was a difficult year for everybody, and I'm not going to go into the reasons why it was so bad, but instead I'm going to focus on what was good about it, and there was quite a bit of good. Luckily for us mountain bikers, our sport takes us away from the busy city streets and out into nature where social distancing really never was a problem. Sweden didn't experience any hard lockdowns, which could be the reason we're getting hit really hard now, but it also did allow us to get out into nature and get moving and ride our bikes. The bike parks remained open, so as long as you're keeping your distance in the lift cube, you could just get out and ride. And ride we did. So to celebrate the passing of 2020, here's a little recap. Roll montage. January 2020 was a rather sleepless month for me. My daughter was born in November and I was getting used to juggling work and a 2-month-old. Riding bikes had to suffer a bit, but I did manage to sneak in a few Zwift sessions now and again. The mild winter made it possible to ride bikes pretty much from the beginning of the year though. As the days were getting longer and sunnier, we headed out to Stockholm's best bike park, Flotspoon, and sessioned some jumps. The ground was half rose and the tracks were mint. There was barely any need for pedaling. I got up close and personal with a tree on one of the runs and broke both my ego and my brake lever, so I finally had a use for all of the zip ties I usually stash inside my crank axle. And it actually worked. You can absolutely fix a bike with zip ties. Dottie from GMBN was right. I finally built up a cheap dirt jumper to mess about on. It's amazing what 75 euros and scouring the internet for deals can get you. After years on trail and enduro bikes, getting used to the little bike was hard. I still can't say I'm totally used to it, and I still feel more comfortable tricking my enduro bike. But hey, we all have to start somewhere. This is why I love biking. There's always something new to try, and it's hard to get bored of a hobby like that. I finally cleared a jump line I have no idea why I was so afraid of. A few of us gathered at a local hill for some push bike action. You push up for 10 minutes, you ride the 1 minute long track down. This one jump was playing tricks with my head for the longest time. I mean, I knew I had it in me, but it had a pretty fast and tight run in and you have to avoid trees right after you land. So following people into features really is the way. The second you're in the right headspace, just send it. 90% of the time, it'll work some of the time. Later on with a ground thought, we continue adding features to our little mini DH track. The track's been there for the last 15 or so years, it's just that it's been left to crumble for the longest time, so me and a few local riders are slowly restoring it to its former glory. Gotta say, building a track absolutely made me respect builders even more. Moving that much dirt and rocks by hand is extremely strenuous work, but so rewarding when you end up with something rideable, challenging, and fun. So take care of your local trails. Join dig days and fix what you cased or skidded into oblivion, and leave something behind for future generations. I also managed to dial in a few tricks, although the 360 is still as elusive as ever. For some reason I have problems not looking in the direction I'm moving in when I'm on a bike. But so far, as long as I'm comfortable on a jump, I can pop a pretty extended suicide no-hander, a one-hander, or a one-footer. ETs are fun too. 2021 is going to be the year where I work on flowing more and incorporating some steez into my riding. I still feel like my body's pretty rigid on a bike, so if anyone's got tips on how to get steezy fast, leave them down there in the comments. In July, I was meant to be here, at 3,300 meters above sea level at the top of Pic Blanc in France, standing on the starting line for my third Megavalanche. I had goals. I trained a bunch. I had a brand spanking new beast of a bike and I was sure I could shave 7 minutes off my best time to complete the track in under an hour. Well, f*** you Corona, you piece of shit killjoy virus. The small problem of a global pandemic meant that the Mega was cancelled and I'd have to wait another year. But wait, I will, and I will be ready.
For this fucking place.
Instead of the now cancelled trip to France, we went on a bike park road trip here in Sweden, to Järvsö and Åre. It's gonna be hard putting 4 videos and 2 weeks of riding into this little montage, but here we go. Järvsö was a blast as always. Party laps with the boys, trying to top 60 kilometers an hour down their big flow trail, getting shown secret lines, riding the fantastic Velo Solutions pump tracks, and going for the post-ride beers and burgers. Hell, even my wife decided she wanted to swipe my bike and do a few laps.
Hey baby mama.
This year's revamp to the lower portion of their jump trail, Twist Twist, was super fun. They made it less scary for beginners, but super fun and boosty for riders who could send it. Åre was, memorable, to say the least. We must have nailed the 1 week this year where the weather was so shit that you couldn't even see the top of the mountain. It was my first time there, so I was really hoping for more than 6 degrees Celsius and horizontal rain pounding us every single day. Still, the bike park is huge, so there was no shortage of riding. And since we made the 600-kilometer drive from Stockholm, we just had to try their Black Diamond DH trail while a river of mud was still flowing down it. A few of the locals questioned their sanity because of that, but hell, you only live once. I feel that I've been robbed of a huge part of the Åre experience, so I'm sure I'll be heading back there in 2021. On the drive back home to Stockholm, we got rear-ended on the highway. Thankfully, we didn't suffer any serious injuries, but our bikes, which took the brunt of the impact, and the car had seen much better days. I'm really gonna miss my Pivot Firebird. It was a hell of a bike. On to my next point. Always have insurance. About a month later, all the material damage was repaired or replaced, and I picked this beauty up from Bikester, a brand spanking new Santa Cruz Nomad V4 with reserve wheels. Hopefully, it won't get turned into carbon dust in a car crash anytime soon. After a year of absence, the Flotspoon night ride was back. I've been waiting for this for a while since I managed to miss the previous one. Once a year around Halloween, Flotspoon Bike Park puts lanterns and decorations along a few of their trails and keeps the lift running up until 10 p.m. There's also loads of loud music and one hell of a fun vibe. Everybody's pumped. Every lap's a party lap. But above all, the feeling of sending the freeride line with your buddies in the dark and riding jumps purely by feel and going off nothing but muscle memory is just priceless. I also finally got back into racing after 2 years. I'm a pretty competitive person, and even though I'm a mid-pack rider, I really enjoy racing. But I've grown more fond of riding for fun lately. Trying to see how high I can pop off something or if I can ride a rowdy feature became more of a thrill than shaving seconds off my race runs. 2020 changed that when I entered the race in the local enduro series. It even went okay. The focus wasn't really there, but what could I expect after no structured race training? The speed was there, although severely interrupted by crashes and really poor line choice. In 2021, I absolutely plan on lining up at the start of a few more races. Towards the end of 2020, Dennis from the YouTube channel Gravity Escapades and I, we started doing a live show here on YouTube where we chat about mountain biking and interview guests. The idea is to create a platform for us and our subscribers to socialize during the dark winter months and chat about the sport we love. Check that out on both our channels. We alternate the channel we stream on every time, so subscribe to both HFODT and Gravity Escapades so you don't miss any episodes. I'll leave the links in the description below. 2020 is also the year this channel passed 1,000 subs. By now it's well on its way to 2K, so thanks a bunch for watching and supporting the channel. I do this YouTube thing in my very limited free time, so it really gets me stoked to see that somebody else is enjoying the content as much as I'm enjoying making it. So for me here at HFODT, to all of you out there, I hope 2021 is going to be the year that you shred an even sicker bike on even sicker trails with the most awesome people you've met along the way. And if you want to follow my adventures on two wheels, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything. Until next time, keep your rubber side down.